Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Akash P, and I'm from Nepal. So, giving my short introduction, I am a social worker, and my area of practice lies on environmental protection, child protection, youth development, research, and writing. So, first of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to present my academic presentation entitled Role of Green Social Work Practices in Addressing the Effects of Solid Waste on Childlike Pickers in Nepal. The presentation is expected to long around 10 minutes, and this presentation will be much focused on the role of social workers and the effects of solid waste on childlike pickers. So now let me begin the presentation. So, on average, Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal, alone produces around 500 metric tons of daily waste. This includes waste from household, business, hospitals, and other different sectors. The waste management system in Nepal is primarily based on collection and then piling them on landfill site. We have 753 autonomous government, local government particularly, responsible for the management of waste. However, they still opt for open dumping, including riverside and roadside. While the increasing amount of waste affects the environment, at the same time, it also affects the well-being of children involved in rag pickings. According to International Labour Organization (ILO), 1.1 million number of children are engaged in various forms of labor works, including rag picking in Nepal. It is estimated that 5,000 numbers of children are engaged in rag picking works, which is one of the worst form of child labor, and they faces multiple problems. Often, the relationship between childlike pickers and solid waste are unexplored. Dynamic between the intensification of waste and the rate of child labor are also unexplored. The role of social worker is also unexplored in this context, as social work profession remains isolated from the issue of waste management, and this is to say that the profession focused much on the concept of person in environment and has neglected the concept of environment in person. Therefore, realizing this issue, as I mentioned earlier, the objective of this academic presentation is to highlight the effects of solid waste on childlike pickers in Nepal and to highlight the role of green social work in addressing the effects of solid waste on childlike pickers in Nepal. So now, discussing on who are childlike pickers. So basically, they are street children. They fall on the category of street children. So we can see them into two categories. The first one is children on the streets. So these are those children who live, walk, eat on the streets and consider street as their home. The other one is the children of the streets who live with their families but comes in the street for the purpose of earning money and engages them in rag picking and picking walks. So basically in Nepal, most of the children who are engaged in rag picking walks comes from rural areas, and there are many underlying reasons why children come to the streets and engages in rag picking walks. So this is because of family violence, poverty, lack of family income, lack of proper education, lack of proper education system, and also because of the lack of proper guidance of the family. So why children engages in rag picking? So it is because of the reason that they find rag picking easy to perform, and it is also a quick earning occupation. They have a freedom in doing rag picking work and to sustain themselves and to their family. They engages in rag picking work. So while children engage in rag picking works primarily to support themselves and their families, and it has supported them and their family, but at the same time, it has a detrimental effect on their well-being. We can see the both direct and indirect effect. So direct effects includes their health, as because of rag picking, they get caught by cords from sharp metals, broken glass during the course of waste picking, and eventually are exposed to tetanus and other infections. So sadly, many of childlike pickers rely on leftovers. Although they are the one who keeps the city clean, but they are ignored by the society and are labeled as khate, which is negative vulgar word in Nepali. They are abused and exploited by the scrapyard owners as they do not get the payment that they were supposed to, and for girl child, sadly, they get physically abused and raped by scrapyard owners other person and also by their male counterparts, and there is a high chances that they get vulnerable to AIDS. The other effects includes the physical exertion, as child ragpickers generally perform ragpicking from early morning to the late evening, and such activities do not allow them for recreational activities, and that eventually affects their physical and psychological development. While the indirect effects includes pickpocketing, is because when children are unable to find rags, they resort to stealing, like stealing metals, which they sold for money. Similarly, they also use their earnings from rag picking to buy drugs for enjoyment to forget their past, so this affects their health. The other indirect effects includes climate change, as climate change is caused by solid waste. So which means, in other words, solid waste also affects climate change, and it is the poor, particularly the rural people, that who bears the worst consequences of climate change, as it affects their production, makes them vulnerable to landslides, affects water system, and these all issues affect the children education and ultimately gives rise to dropout, and dropout is one of the primary reasons why children come to the streets and engages in child ragpicking. So these are some of the effects of ragpicking on children. However, this is to know that this doesn't only affect the children but also the entire society. So now here comes our role as a green social worker or social worker. We can see our role in 3 levels, including micro level, mezzo, and macro. So these roles are much focused on preventive approaches. So at the micro level, so poverty is the major reason about why children engages in ragpicking. So therefore, social workers have a crucial role in connecting families with employments or providing them with income generating trainings. Likewise, rescue and rehabilitation of child ragpickers and connecting them with shelters and other essential basic needs. Also, social worker can provide psychological counseling to children going through anxiety and stressful situation as a result of enormous involvement in ragpicking. Likewise, in the micro level, a social worker can also connect children with scholarship schemes, as it was reported that many children want to continue their education if they get opportunities. In the micro level, social worker can also help strengthen the capacity of education providers such as government school, as many children drop out from the school because of poor education, and that is the reason why they also get engaged in child ragpicking works. Now at the mezzo level, a green social worker can raise public awareness regarding waste, its effects on children, the child rights, and can help children to be recognized as the human beings, as they are ignored from the society and are labeled as kate. So they are basically ignored from the society. So secondly, social worker can play a crucial role in strengthening the capacity of community-based organizations like women's group, who have a crucial role in waste management in the context of Nepal, to better respond to the issue of waste management. Similarly, 70% of organic waste are produced from the household level in Nepal, so a green social worker can teach households or individuals about indigenous way of waste management like composting, or can also link them with proper resources. Social worker can also support communities to initiate and develop sustainable community-based waste management system based on the principle of bottom-up approaches and participatory approaches. Not only that, a social worker can also help establish eco-social clubs in schools, while hospitals, business, and other major factories and industries to contribute in the waste generation. So social worker can help them in the proper segregation and disposal of waste through the principle of 3R, reuse, reduce, and recycle. And in the mezzo level, a social worker can also play a role of facilitator by facilitating dialogues amongst multiple stakeholders, including children, government authorities, private organization, scrapyard owners, and other. So now at the macro level, social workers have a role in advocacy, particularly advocating towards environmental justice that upholds child rights, dignity, and respect. Similarly, social work can assist government in evidence-based decision-making through scientific research and study. For instance, in the context of Nepal, we have problem on the effective ways of waste management, particularly on waste collection services and the behavioral aspects of people. So this can be the research area for a social worker for researching about the relationship between children and waste, and also exploring the possible intervention. At the macro level, a social worker can collaborate with relevant stakeholders in developing and organizing community-based initiatives like skill development programs, poverty reduction programs to families, and other welfare initiatives to prevent children from engaging in rat picking. So these are the roles, some of the key roles that a green social worker can play in the micro, major, and macro level. And I have also provided some of the recommendation to social worker, NGOs, government, and communities. So for social work and the institution, the role of green social work in waste management must be promoted. And this is to say that the concept of green social work is less explored in academia and practice, so this must be promoted. And in the context of Nepal, we do not have green social work in our curriculum, so this must be promoted. So for NGOs, NGOs must advocate for the rights of the children. They must raise awareness on the effects of waste on children, particularly those working as a childlike picker, and can also initiate skill development programs to families of childlike pickers. So for government, research and studies should be conducted to bridge the current gaps existed in waste management. Government must collaborate with non-government organizations and relevant stakeholders in developing sustainable employment generation programs to poor families. Similarly, the rights of the child must be incorporated in the center of planning and decision-making process pertaining to waste management. Timely monitoring of scribe act is important to ensure whether children are employed in childlike picking or not. Government should also monitor and held accountable to major waste generators like business, hospitals, and other different sectors like restaurants. So lastly, lesson learned is must, and consultation with experts should be done by the government. So for communities, community must initiate the community-led waste management campaigns, systems like sanitation, composting. Not only that, but also they must initiate the concept of reward and punishment. For instance, rewarding the one who are practicing green initiatives like composting, and also punishing the one who are violating the community rules of waste management. So this can help prevent the unmanaged solid waste and can help to manage the waste from the source. So these are the recommendations to social worker, NGOs, government, and communities, and these are some of the references. So thank you. If there are any questions, please let me know. I have also provided my email here, and thank you so much.